Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is actually a very fun video for me and a video that I'm super excited about. When I first started my channel about 2 years ago, I had thought about starting this series called Fright Friday, where I review just horror books, and my first one and my only one was on Children of Night by Dan Simmons. And that was something that I did and I never followed up, I never kept up with it, but it's something that I've always wanted to bring back to my channel just because I love horror so much, and I thought it would just be a fun idea to bring it back. And initially I was going to bring this series back with The Stand because I did start reading that. It was either January or February, but I was having a little bit of a hard time keeping up with that book or even just finishing that book. I'm still reading it. When I started reading this book that I'm reading now, or that I just finished reading, I thought it would be a great idea to start Fright Friday with this book. So I'm reintroducing Fright Friday to my channel. I'm hoping I can stick to it this time. I get a little bit in my head when it's time to review books, like when I have to write reviews for Nightworms or do a review video. I think I've only done like 2 review videos up to this point, but I get really nervous because I feel like I don't know how to use words. Apparently I don't know how to express what I'm thinking or how I feel about a book other than I really loved it, I'm super excited, and things like that. So I think that's what stopped me from continuing with it. So I'm super nervous for this, but at the same time I'm excited because I talk a lot about horror, but I want dedicated videos to dedicated books. And so the way that I did that first video, I just reviewed the book, I just talked about the book and my feelings towards the book, which by the way have changed since that video. 2 years ago, Summer of Night is a book that has actually just stayed in my head, and I attribute that to how much I loved it or how much it impacted me. Obviously, books that stick with you mean something, and that's a book that I want to reread. But anyways, this video is not about that. I'm rambling on. When I received this book, I was so excited for it. This is a book that comes out in June, and I was blessed enough to receive an ARC of it. This book, I actually wrote my review for Nightworms. I'm doing side-by-sides with a couple of other Nightworms, including Sadie, and I believe maybe Matt or Zach. A couple of us got together, a few of us got together, and we are reviewing this book. So I do have that coming up on the Nightworms blog. But I also decided that it would be so great to do a Fright Friday on this. First of all, because of the title, you guys will see now, but second of all because I was so excited. This is a most anticipated read for me, and Silver Shamrock Publishing, thank you so much, was so kind for sending this my way. And so my first Fright Friday back, or technically my second Fright Friday back, will be all dedicated to Devil's Creek. So I'm doing the intro. I have read this so far, so I'm telling you, I loved it. The way that I decided to format these videos now is I am going to include a little piece, like little snippets of a vlog, so that you guys can see my reaction as I go reading it. I'm not very good with keeping up with vlogs, so this is going to be very short and just a couple clips. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up now. I hope you guys enjoyed this portion. I will be back later on at the end of the video with more concise thoughts and a little mini review on Devil's Creek, so stay tuned for that. That's going to come at the end of the video. So I hope you guys enjoy these little snippets of me reading Devil's Creek.
I can't tell
50 pages into Devil's Creek, and I am loving this book so much already. First off, that was first off, but second, excuse the lighting, but my lighting is in my bedroom and I don't feel, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning right now and I don't feel like bringing stuff in here. And third, excuse my appearance, but we are in social distancing right now and in quarantine, and I don't care. At least you're getting clean hair, so let's just roll with that. So back to Devil's Creek. I am so obsessed with this story so quickly. The writing is incredible. It just flows so easily. I've never read anything by Todd Kiesling before. I hope that's how you say his name. But I knew that this book was coming out this year, and I actually heard about it through Sadie, Mother Horror. She was talking about this book, or I think she mentioned it, and it became one of my most anticipated books of the year. Here, when we start off this book, we start off with this group of people that are headed somewhere. They're in this truck. It's actually two cars, and they're headed somewhere, and you're hearing thoughts from Imogen. They call her Jeannie, but you're sort of walking through her thoughts on knowing that they are on the way to stop Father Jacob, and apparently it's a church, and she's actually going because she is afraid that by the time that she gets there, her grandson will be no longer alive. And so they're rushing. They know that there's something happening tonight at their church, and they're trying to make it before, you know, the big event. And so we flop from there to the church and Father Jacob, and this guy is just like crazy. And you hear how they were following a fake god or a fake lord, but then he actually heard from the real god, or the new god, or the new lord. And so they started worshiping this lord from under. It's just 50 pages in, so within those 50 pages, you are meeting these characters that are going to save these kids, and then you meet this father, or this head of cult, I guess you could call it, and his followers, and he is wanting to sacrifice these kids. You know that he's been sort of like, I think, having sexual happenings with the church, some of the church members, and then the kids. It's you're led to believe that he's been doing things to the kids as well. And so I'm just like reading this, and I'm like, and one of the mothers, which is the people that are actually going to save these kids, is actually the mother of one of the kids. So she's going to save her grandson because she says that her daughter is just way too gone. And it's incredible to me how the mother is just like, you know, whatever needs to happen. Like, she's willing to give her kid up and sacrifice for this new lord, and willing to give her kid over to Father Jacob to do God knows what. She's okay with it. And I'm like, man, how brainwashed do you have to be? Just the first 50 pages, it's insane. So I can only imagine what the rest of this book is going to be like. So we went through the events of the night, what happens there, and then now we're jumping to Imogen's, I think that's how you say it, Imogen or Imogen's journal of what happened from there on. So we're just following like little newspaper clippings. Stafford Death Cult Claims 57, and it's the Stafford Tribune's evening edition of 1983. And so you're going through various clippings of, I guess, what happened, or they're trying to figure out what happened at the night before here at this church. So, I mean, the writing is just incredible. The writing just flows, and it makes you just want to continue reading. So I'm really enjoying this, and let's see where this journey takes us. Okay, so I'm a little bit further along on Devil's Creek. I'm actually on page 144 right now, and I am still as obsessed, or maybe even more than before. We're getting further into the storyline. Obviously, we're further along in the book. And now it's been about 20 years later. We're in present time. And all the 6 kids that have survived that awful night are all grown-ups. And our main character, Jack, has to come back. He actually left the city and he just couldn't take it there, and so he left to become an artist. Due to some circumstances that have happened, he has to come back to the town where all this crazy stuff happened to him when he was little, and things are starting to happen. Supernatural things are starting to happen. This book is super creepy. There's been some creepy scenes that have happened, and I'm so eager to see where this goes. I have about another 200 pages to go to finish this, but it's just such a good book. And this is one of those books where you read it and then you get jealous of somebody else's first time reading it because it's that good, and you want to experience it for the first time again. I think this is one of those books, up to now, up to what I've read so far, it's one of those books that you would want to revisit in the future, because it's so great. You have aspects of like camping ghost stories going on. You have the tales of what happened 20 years ago at this church or this cult. It has every aspect of horror that is just so deliciously scary. Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've updated this. I actually took a couple days off from reading the book, but I picked it up again, I think it was last night, and started reading. This is the kind of book that you know is gonna give you a book hangover, so I'm trying to take it real slow, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. It's the kind of book that you really dive into and you really invest, and it's like a story, you know, like it's deep. It has a lot of moving parts, a lot of characters, a lot of depth, a lot of dark. And I'm liking all the characters so far. They bring something different to the table, each in their own way. So I'm really liking it. But I got to a part, I think it was like chapter 12. We meet a new character, and his name is Dr. Tyler Booth. And he basically is a anthropologist, if I'm not mistaken, and he gets hired by one of the characters to go into the place where the cult was 20 years ago and extract something from the site. And this item ends up in the hands of Jack, which is one of our main characters, which is the grandson of the Imogen. He also finds this card with Dr. Booth's name, so he figures he's gonna go and talk to him and see what he can get from this man that his grandmother was trying to figure out. And so when he goes to see this man dives deep into what he went through when he went to this location, and that it completely changed him. So I really liked that part, and I'm hoping we see him again. It's just these 6 kids getting back together, and something is happening. Their things are moving in that area again of Devil's Creek, and things are about to happen, so I'm excited to see what happens. Hey guys, I just finished Devil's Creek, so I thought I would come on and close out the vlog and give you more of my concise thoughts and my feelings towards the book. So let's just get in. I loved this book. It was so good. This is the kind of book that you feel like you're sitting by the fire and somebody's just telling you a story, and you're like all cozy, wrapped up in a blanket with a hot chocolate or a coffee or a tea in your hand, outdoors, and you're just listening to this like scary cultish story. That's what this is. It's just such a comforting horror novel, if that even makes sense. But you know the ones that I'm talking about, those cozy horror novels. That's what this is. It has cults in it. It has nasty, gruesome descriptions. I mean, sludge, worms, all kinds of things. And it has some kick-ass characters. I love the friendship trio between Jack, Stephanie, and Chuck, and how they just go about doing everything. I love how quick everyone is to get on board with what's going on, if that makes sense. It wasn't something that was like not believable or that people were like, no, that's not happening. I loved how easily the story flowed. It was almost like there's a part actually, or there's several parts where you're going into present time, somebody saying the story, and it trails into almost like a memory kind of narration with the story. And I loved that because it really flowed easily. Sometimes when authors do that, it can get sort of like mingled up and confusing. But first of all, the formatting on the pages when you do those transitions between present time and past time memories, it's done so well that you can follow along and you can sort of, it almost plays in your head like a movie reel. I thought Imogen was kick-ass character. She was my favorite character in the book. She is Jack's grandmother, and she's the one that we open the story up with. And she is just the type of character that leaves no stones unturned, and she's just, let's get this done, you know, love for the family kind of character. I really enjoyed going into those memories with Imogen. There's also, within the novel, there is sections that has the diary entries of Imogen, because Jack has this notebook that his grandmother left behind, and so we have little snippets of that in the book. This is an arc. I am guessing that the artwork that's in here is it's going to be in the final copy as well. The images and the artwork is amazing. It just adds a layer of spookiness. I'm going to show you one of the earlier ones. I don't want to show you too much behind because the pictures almost have like a timeline where it's different. So, but it's this kind of artwork, you know, the church is back there, the woods, and then the first page of the chapters has like those branches, which gives it the eerie feeling, and it just makes the book, like when you flip through it, it just makes it look creepier. So this is set in a small town, so you have those like small town kind of rumors, then you have your small town, like this is in Kentucky with the Bible Belt, and so you have like, you know, the older people fighting against the devil music and all of that, so you see that part of it, and then you see the teenagers and with like their religious parents, you see the aspects of the cult and religion put together, and it was such a fun, fast, cozy horror that I just loved it. It's perfect for the summertime. This is like your perfect summertime horror. And if you are even thinking about getting this book, I highly recommend it. I ended up giving it 5 stars. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry the vlog parts are kind of boring. It's just me, you know, talking about where I'm at in the book and if I'm enjoying it or not, and it's not much, but I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope that this gave you a little bit of an insight into Devil's Creek, and I hope that it has enticed you to go and get it and get your summer horror reading on, or start getting those lists ready for summer because it is right around the corner. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!